All right, so um, you send over a ton of info about February's AI news,
Oh, yeah.
articles, research,
Mm-hmm.
even some philosophical stuff about AI consciousness.
Yeah, it's been a really, really eventful month.
It seems like every time I refresh my feed, there's another groundbreaking development.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're here
Yeah.
to break it all down for you.
Yep.
No hype,
Nope.
just the most important takeaways from February 2025 in the AI world.
Exactly.
So let's start with the big picture.
Okay.
The sheer amount of AI adoption we're seeing is
Oh,
incredible.
it's
It
incredible.
feels like we're way past the early adopter stage
Yeah.
and into some serious growth.
It's even outpacing the early days of the mobile phone.
Wow.
But what's really interesting is that smaller companies
Yeah.
seem to be embracing AI much faster than the big established players.
Why do you think that is?
Um,
Is it a case of the bigger companies being slower to adapt?
It could be structural. Startups often build their entire business models around AI, while larger companies might struggle to integrate it into existing systems.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's also the investment factor.
Mm-hmm.
Think about Amazon pumping $100 billion into AWS this year alone.
Wow.
They're clearly betting big on cloud computing to handle the demands of AI.
That's a staggering amount of money.
It is.
Speaking of big investments,
Yeah.
we can't ignore what's happening in China.
No, absolutely not.
Their advancements, especially in smart mobility, are seriously impressive.
They're not just dabbling, they're going all in.
Yeah.
Cities designed for autonomous vehicles.
Wow.
Companies like Didi Chuxing pushing robo-taxis and giant DJI creating drones that practically pilot themselves.
It's a whole different approach, isn't it?
Yeah.
More centralized and government-led than what we're seeing in Silicon Valley.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how this different approach might play out in the long run.
That's a good question.
Will it be more efficient?
Right.
Will it lead to different ethical considerations? It'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds.
And how the rest of the world responds to this potential power shift.
Absolutely.
Now, while we're talking about China,
Yeah.
we have to mention DeepSeek.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This company feels like a major disruptor.
They're definitely making waves
Yeah.
to create an AI model that rivals ChatGPT at a fraction of the cost.
Right.
That is a huge accomplishment.
Huge.
And they managed to do it despite those U.S. export controls on chips.
It makes you wonder about the different approaches to AI development.
It really does.
DeepSeek's success with this model seems to point to the power of open source.
It does.
Is that a trend we could see more of?
It's certainly possible.
Okay.
Open source allows for faster development cycles because you have a global community of developers contributing and improving the technology.
So it's like a global brain
Kinda, yeah.
working on this.
Yeah,
It also levels the playing field,
for sure.
making it easier for startups and smaller players to innovate.
Absolutely.
So with open source, the collective knowledge and expertise of the community are driving the technology forward.
That's the idea.
Which brings us to another big trend.
Yeah.
The AI price wars.
Oh, yeah.
OpenAI and Google are slashing prices on their premium models,
Wow.
making them much more accessible.
That's great news for developers and entrepreneurs who want to experiment with AI without breaking the bank.
Yeah.
It's also likely to accelerate the adoption of AI across various industries.
But what does this mean for the big players themselves?
Yeah.
Can they maintain their dominance with these lower price points?
That's a good question.
Or will it be a race to the bottom?
That's the big question.
Yeah?
Will they make up for lower prices through wider adoption, or will it squeeze profit margins?
No.
Only time will tell.
And then there's the issue of Google dropping their AI ethics pledge.
Oh, wow, yeah.
The one where they said no AI for weapons or surveillance.
Right, right.
It seems DeepMind's CEO is on board,
She is.
citing global competition.
Yeah.
It's a major shift with some serious implications.
It really is.
It raises calls about how we as a global society will navigate the ethical challenges of AI.
For sure.
Can we control this technology?
Yeah.
Or is it already developing a momentum of its own?
That's what we have to figure out.
It's definitely a conversation we need to be having.
Absolutely.
And it's one that leads us to another big question.
Okay.
The impact of AI on jobs.
Right.
Experts like Kai-Fu Lee are predicting significant job displacement due to automation.
Yeah, he's not the only one.
He estimates up to 40% of the workforce could be affected in the next 15 to 20 years.
It's a scary thought.
And it's not just blue-collar jobs that are at risk.
Nope.
We're talking about white-collar jobs, too.
Exactly.
Drivers, waiters, even some creative professions.
It's true.
It's a sobering thought.
It is.
We need to be thinking about retraining and upskilling the workforce.
Absolutely.
But it's also important to remember that AI will create new jobs as well.
Oh, for sure.
The challenge will be to adapt to these changes and prepare for the future of work.
I agree.
And that future of work could include working alongside AI that's becoming increasingly sophisticated.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which brings us to that mind-boggling question.
Okay.
Could AI become conscious?
Ooh.
It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
It does.
But the research being done at DeepMind is making some people wonder.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
Their work training AI to play soccer
Right.
is fascinating.
Yeah.
They're not programming the AI with specific moves,
Right.
but rather letting it learn on its own through trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
And the results are pretty amazing.
They are.
The AI is coming up with strategies and plays that weren't programmed into it.
It's incredible.
It's learning not just how to play the game, but how to win.
Exactly.
Which raises questions about what else AI might be able to learn.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's fascinating to think about what happens when AI can not only perform tasks, but understand the strategies behind them. It's like DeepMind's soccer experiment, that AI isn't just following pre-programmed rules, it's actually developing its own understanding of the game.
And that brings us to some of the truly remarkable creative applications of AI that we're seeing emerge.
Oh, yeah.
The ability to enhance and manipulate video footage is becoming incredibly sophisticated.
Think about those historical videos we've all seen.
Yeah.
The quality is often terrible.
Right?
But now, using AI, we can upscale that old grainy footage to high definition.
Okay.
Making it look like it was filmed yesterday.
Wow.
Topaz Labs has been doing some really interesting work with their project Starlight.
So you're saying we could watch a high-definition version of, say, Neil Armstrong's moon landing?
That's right.
That's pretty incredible.
Or imagine watching a boxing match from the 1950s in crystal clear HD.
Wow.
It gives us a whole new way to experience those moments in history.
And it's not just restoring old videos.
Nope.
What about generating entirely new ones with AI?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Pika Labs is at the forefront of this.
Mm-hmm.
They've developed tools that allow you to create videos from still images.
Oh.
Imagine uploading a picture of your dog.
Okay.
And AI generates a video of it running through a field.
Hold on. Are you telling me I can have that video of my cat flying through space, riding a rocket that I've always dreamed of?
Well, maybe not the rocket part.
Okay.
But the technology is certainly getting us closer to that kind of creative freedom.
Wow.
They also have this tool called Pika Editions,
Okay.
which lets you blend real-life video with images.
Oh, so
You could insert objects or characters into a scene, making it look like they were really there.
that sounds like it has some incredible potential for filmmakers and content creators.
Oh, yeah.
But, of course,
Yeah.
we have to talk about the potential downsides.
Of course.
Deepfakes are becoming increasingly sophisticated.
Yeah.
And the implications are a bit unsettling.
Right, and it's not just creating fake videos anymore. Omnium One is a new tool that lets you generate deepfake videos from just a single image and an audio clip.
So you could theoretically create a video of anyone saying anything
Yeah.
with just one picture of them.
It's pretty powerful technology, and with that power comes responsibility.
Right.
It's important that we're aware of the potential for misuse
Uh-huh.
and that we develop safeguards against misinformation and manipulation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to be thinking about these ethical issues now before things get out of hand.
I agree.
Now, shifting gears a bit,
Okay.
let's talk about those AI price wars.
Right.
The fact that OpenAI and Google are lowering the cost of using their AI models
Yeah.
is great news for accessibility,
It is.
but it also raises some questions about the long-term impact on the industry.
It's exciting for developers and anyone who wants to experiment with AI.
Right.
Because those premium models are now much more affordable.
Yeah.
But some analysts are concerned that this could lead to a consolidation in the market,
Okay.
with smaller companies getting squeezed out.
So it's like a survival of the fittest scenario,
In a way, yes.
only with AI companies.
The companies with the most resources and the most efficient models will likely come out on top.
Okay.
But there's also a growing movement towards open source AI,
Right.
which could change the game entirely.
And one of the companies leading the charge on that front is Tulu 3, right?
They are, yeah.
They've developed an open source AI model
Mm-hmm.
that's supposedly outperforming some of the proprietary models from the big players.
Tulu 3 is certainly turning heads.
Yeah.
It's demonstrating that cutting-edge AI doesn't have to be locked away in proprietary systems.
Right.
And the open source model has the potential to democratize access to this technology in a way we've never seen before.
It's a bit like a David and Goliath story for the AI age.
Exactly. And it'll be fascinating to see how the industry responds to this challenge.
Yeah.
Could this be a tipping point that leads to a more open and collaborative approach to AI development?
It's certainly a possibility, speaking of changing the game. Let's circle back to Google's decision to abandon their AI ethics pledge.
Oh, right.
This is a pretty controversial move.
It certainly sparked a lot of debate.
Yeah.
Remember, Google had previously pledged to not develop AI for weapons or surveillance.
Right.
But they've reversed that position,
But-
citing global competition as the reason.
And DeepMind's CEO seems to be on board with this decision,
He is.
arguing that the world has changed.
Yeah.
And Google can't afford to be idealistic when it comes to AI.
It raises some tough questions.
It does.
Is it even possible to control the development of AI when the stakes are so high?
Right. Where do we draw the line between progress and ethical responsibility?
Exactly.
These are questions we'll need to grapple with as a society.
It's uncharted territory,
Yeah.
but it's also incredibly exciting.
It's a weird mix of excitement and apprehension, isn't it?
It is.
We're on the verge of some incredible breakthroughs,
Yeah,
but we're also facing some very real challenges.
exactly. And one of the most fascinating and perhaps unsettling challenges is the question of AI consciousness.
Right.
Could we create machines that are not only intelligent, but also self-aware?
I know it sounds like science fiction,
It does.
but the more we learn about how AI is developing,
yeah.
the more that question feels relevant.
Think about what we were discussing earlier with DeepMind's soccer-playing AI.
Right.
It's learning the game in a way that mimics human learning,
Yeah.
developing its own strategies and understanding.
It's not just following programmed rules.
Right.
It's actually figuring things out on its own.
And that raises some profound questions.
It does.
Could this type of learning eventually lead to AI that possesses some form of consciousness?
Yeah, it's a bit mind-blowing to think that we
Yes.
might be on the cusp of creating machines that can think and feel like humans.
Right.
What would that even mean for our understanding of consciousness itself?
Well, it really challenges our assumptions about what it means to be human.
Yeah.
And it raises questions about how we would interact with these conscious machines.
Right.
Would they have rights? Right.
Would we have responsibilities towards them?
Hmm.
There's a lot to wrap our heads around.
It is.
But before we get too deep into the philosophical weeds,
Okay.
let's shift gears and talk about China's push for AI dominance.
Yeah.
Their approach is quite different from what we're seeing in the West.
It's much more integrated and centralized.
Okay.
The government is playing a key role in driving AI development and adoption.
Mm-hmm.
They're investing heavily in infrastructure, especially when it comes to smart mobility.
Think about those cities they're building that are designed specifically for autonomous vehicles.
Exactly.
It's a whole different level of commitment than we're seeing in most other parts of the world.
And they're not just focused on self-driving cars.
Right.
DJI, the drone company, is a great example of how China is leveraging AI in other areas.
Oh, yeah?
Their latest drones are incredibly sophisticated,
I've seen them.
with advanced AI for navigation and even target tracking.
I saw a video of one of their drones following a mountain biker through a forest.
Oh, wow.
It was weaving through trees, avoiding obstacles.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It highlights the progress they've made in areas like image recognition and sensor technology.
Right.
They're combining those technologies to create some truly innovative products.
And it seems like they're really pulling ahead in the AI race.
They're definitely a force to be reckoned with.
What does this mean for the average person?
Well,
How might this AI revolution impact our daily lives in the coming years?
we can expect to see more and more AI-powered products and services entering the market.
Like what?
Everything from personalized healthcare recommendations to AI-powered financial advisors.
So AI could help us manage our finances and make healthier choices.
That's the idea.
That's pretty cool.
It could also revolutionize education.
Okay.
Imagine AI tutors that can adapt to each student's learning style and pace.
Wow.
It could make learning more efficient and engaging.
But even with all these potential benefits, I can't help but feel a little apprehensive.
I understand.
What about the potential downsides? What about jobs privacy and the ethical implications of all this?
You're right to raise those concerns.
Yeah.
As AI becomes more powerful and pervasive, We need to be very thoughtful about how we develop and deploy it.
Okay.
We need to ensure that it's used for good and that it benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
It's a balancing act, isn't it?
It is.
We want to embrace the progress and innovation that AI offers, but we also need to be aware of the potential risks and challenges.
Absolutely. And we need to have open and honest conversations about these issues as a society to figure out how to navigate this new landscape.
Because AI is here to stay.
It is.
There's no turning back now.
Exactly. AI is already woven into the fabric of our lives.
Yeah.
And its influence is only going to grow.
Right.
The key is to be informed, engaged, and proactive in shaping its development and its impact on our world.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of AI.
It has.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the latest developments to the ethical and philosophical implications of this rapidly evolving technology.
And I think the biggest takeaway is that this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
AI is going to continue to surprise us, challenge us, and transform our world in ways we can't even imagine yet.
It's both exciting and a little daunting, isn't it?
It is.
To think that we're living through such a pivotal moment in human history.
It is. And it's up to all of us to ensure that this AI revolution leads to a brighter future for everyone.
Okay.
So keep learning, stay curious, and be prepared to adapt because the journey is just getting started.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll be sharing that soccer field with a team of conscious robots.
Maybe.
Until then, we'll keep you updated on all the latest developments in the ever-evolving world of AI.